Yeah. 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 Welcome to Beyond the Block, everything crypto. Welcome to Beyond the Block, everything crypto.
All right, let's get right into it. We're going to do a deep dive on some news that could really shake up the world of finance.
Oh, this is a big one.
Yeah. We're talking about Goldman Sachs,
Goldman Sachs.
the Wall Street giant.
A titan of finance.
And they are thinking about getting into Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Wow.
And this is not just, some small fintech startup dabbling in crypto.
Right.
We are talking about one of the most influential players
Yeah, heavy hitters.
in traditional finance,
Absolutely.
showing serious interest
Serious.
in this space.
This is a big deal.
To unpack all of this, we have some really great, insightful articles from Cryptopolitan and Reuters.
That's going to give us a lot to dig into.
Yeah.
What's really fascinating to me here is that Goldman Sachs potentially moving into the crypto space,
Yeah,
it really signals a shift
totally.
in how crypto is perceived.
Right. Yeah.
It's not this
Great.
fringe asset class anymore.
Right.
That's relegated to just tech enthusiasts.
Right, or early adopters.
Yeah. This potential move suggests that
It's going mainstream.
even the most established
Yeah.
financial institutions are recognizing
Potential.
the power of cryptocurrencies.
So to really understand,
To unpack that.
yeah, let's really get into the nitty-gritty of
The specifics.
what Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon
Right.
actually said.
Mm-hmm.
He confirmed that they are evaluating entering the Bitcoin and Ethereum markets.
Makes sense.
But he emphasized
Of course.
they're proceeding cautiously.
They got to be smart.
Yeah, they're waiting for
Sure.
clearer regulatory guidelines.
Okay, so this is where it gets
This is where it gets juicy.
really, really interesting.
Yeah.
We see this,
Head to head.
this clash between the established world of finance.
Yeah.
That's
Super reliant.
heavily reliant on, regulations and oversight.
Yeah.
And then you have this decentralized nature of crypto,
Yes.
which was designed to operate outside of those systems.
Yeah.
So for a company like Goldman Sachs,
Right.
known for its meticulous risk management, right?
Absolutely.
Navigating this regulatory uncertainty
Yeah.
is a significant hurdle. So, what kind of regulatory framework
Yeah, what are they looking for?
would they need to see to really feel comfortable?
To dive in.
Yeah, to jump into the crypto pool.
Right.
That's the million-dollar question.
That's the big question.
Yeah.
And here's another layer to this, right?
Oh, there's more.
This news comes hot on the heels of Bitcoin smashing past the $100,000 mark last week.
Right. It was just last week.
It's clear that there's significant market momentum
Yeah.
driving this interest.
It's driving it forward. Yeah, absolutely. And our sources, they point to the upcoming change in the U.S. presidency as a potential catalyst for this surge. There's this sense of optimism,
I see.
almost like a Trump bump, as some are calling it,
Interesting.
where folks are anticipating a more crypto-friendly environment.
Under the new administration.
Exactly.
And Solomon even hinted at the possibility of the, quote, regulatory framework
Interesting.
evolving differently under the new administration.
Okay, so what do you think that looks like? Could we see a complete overhaul?
Revamp of crypto regulations, or are we talking about more subtle shifts?
To the existing framework.
Yeah, to the existing framework. It's really tough to predict
To say for sure.
the specifics at this point.
Right.
But, if we consider, the broader political landscape
For sure.
and the incoming administration's stance on, financial innovation,
Yeah,
it's reasonable to think that we might see a more permissive approach,
I like that.
towards crypto.
Yeah.
This could mean, streamlined regulations.
Yeah. Clearer guidelines for institutional involvement.
Right.
Or even, the introduction of crypto-specific legislation. I mean, the potential implications for mainstream crypto adoption are huge.
Massive.
Absolutely massive. And, let's not forget
Oh, yeah, good point.
that Goldman Sachs isn't exactly new.
A stranger?
Yeah, a stranger to the blockchain world.
Been dabbling.
Back in 2022, remember they launched...
GSDAP, their tokenization platform.
Yeah,
And they even tested out the Canton network.
right. Can you break that down?
Yeah, what is that?
A little bit.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with that.
Sure. So the Canton network, in a nutshell, it's designed to enable interoperability between different assets, institutional assets, on the blockchain.
Okay.
So imagine a world where stocks, bonds,
Real estate.
yeah, even real estate can be traded and settled like that, instantly and securely, all using blockchain technology.
Wow.
This is the kind of innovation Goldman Sachs is already playing with. And it really puts them in a good spot.
A strategic advantage.
Yeah, strategically to leverage their expertise.
Right.
As they explore the crypto market.
Smart.
Yeah.
So they're not just blindly jumping in. They got
some experience.
They've been doing their research.
They've been doing their homework.
And speaking of doing your research, one of our sources predicts this boom in M&A activity.
Oh, wow.
Mergers and acquisitions.
Okay.
And private equity by 2025.
Interesting.
So could this be a factor?
A driving factor.
In Goldman Sachs' interest?
Yeah.
Are they seeing like this wave of crypto-related
M&A activity? That's a really good point.
Yeah.
We know that Goldman Sachs, they have,
sharp eye.
A really keen eye for investments.
Yeah.
And spotting these emerging trends.
Totally.
So if they're anticipating this surge in crypto M&A, their interest in Bitcoin and Ethereum, it starts to make even more sense.
It's a lot of sense.
They could be trying to position themselves.
Be the key players.
Yeah, to facilitate these deals.
Advising companies. On blockchain integration.
Oh, exactly.
Or even acquiring
wow.
promising crypto startups themselves.
That's a possibility.
It's a huge possibility.
It's worth considering, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. And here's another interesting tidbit.
Okay.
Goldman Sachs has noticed a growing appetite for crypto products coming from hedge funds.
Interesting.
Which are known for their high risk, high reward strategies. Yeah. What does that tell us about how finance is evolving?
Well, it's a pretty clear sign that the institutional adoption of crypto is gaining momentum.
Yeah.
Hedge funds are always,
on the cutting edge.
They're looking for those new avenues for returns.
Right.
And portfolio diversification.
Sure.
And crypto has become this,
It's attractive.
Yeah, increasingly attractive asset class to them.
I see.
It just reinforces this idea that crypto is no longer
a fringe thing.
A fringe thing.
Like a little tiny.
It's entering the mainstream, the mainstream financial arena.
All of this is really fascinating.
Super fascinating.
And it really points to this huge shift. But even with all this positive news, the markets haven't reacted with total enthusiasm.
Right.
Our sources mentioned that Goldman Sachs' stock actually dipped.
Interesting.
Slightly on Tuesday.
Okay.
And even Bitcoin itself experienced a decline. With Ethereum also seeing
a little dip.
A bit of a dip. What do you make of that?
It's a good reminder that despite the growing interest and all this amazing potential, the crypto market is still characterized by volatility.
You got to be careful.
You got to be careful. These price fluctuations, even with this positive news, just highlight the need for
being cautious,
careful consideration.
Yeah.
And having those robust regulatory frameworks.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not forget, we're talking about a
young asset class.
A relatively young asset class.
Right.
And its journey to, mainstream acceptance, it's going to probably be marked by
ups and downs.
Periods of exuberance and caution.
For sure. So while regulatory hurdles remain and the market can be
unpredictable,
a bit unpredictable, one thing's for sure.
Yeah. What's that?
Goldman Sachs taking an interest in crypto is
huge.
Huge.
Absolutely.
This could be a major turning point for the entire industry.
I think it is, yeah.
But it's crucial to stay informed and keep up with the latest development.
Couldn't agree more. And that's where a resource like Beyond the Block becomes really, really valuable.
Yes. We'll get back to the importance of that a bit later. But first, let's dive into some of the other implications of Goldman Sachs' potential entry into the crypto world.
Everything crypto.